Welcome back to iGaming. Today we have a big one from the Icarus team, and that is the Week 53 1-year anniversary Icarus update. This is a big one and it's all about data decentralization, along with dedicated servers, and we're looking back on 52 weeks of updates. So if you are a fan of Icarus, subscribe to the channel, drop a like on the video, and stick around. Let's jump in and see what the RocketWorks team have to say. Happy 1-year anniversary. Today marks a year since the launch of Icarus and the 52 updates we've made to the game every single week since. We're excited to celebrate it by giving power back to the players with our player data decentralization patch. This week, all data will be migrated to players' local computers, shifting away from reliance of cloud servers, allowing some new features and ensuring the player community can own their game data permanently. This opens the doors for many more features and changes, including characters now being able to be used across multiple sessions simultaneously, and the new orbital exchange interface for exotic extraction, and our dedicated servers beta. This is a big update and will require a full data migration upon launch of the patch, so have a read through the details. So that is what we're going to do today. We're going to have a little read through, see what this is all about. Data migration and the decentralization is not anything that I understand fully, so I do want to have a little bit of a look through and see what they've got. There is quite a lot to it. Alongside that, we've got multiplayer hosting changes, loads of gameplay changes, bits of news on the dedicated servers, and a nice little letter from Dean Hall, the CEO of RocketWorks, about 1 year of Icarus. So, if that sounds good, stick around to the end. So first things first is data decentralization and migration. This is a large update requiring a migration process that will occur the first time you log in after the patch. However, for many players, it may not change how you play Icarus at all. None of your data, characters, or gear will be lost. We're moving it all where it is stored. Going forward, all of your data will be stored locally on your PC. Previously, save files and player data were saved in the cloud, while everything else, including Outpost and open world games, was saved locally. Now, all of it can be saved locally, shifting data ownership to the players and moving away from a game-as-service model, which can leave us open to internet outages and cause limit customization. We see this move as putting power back in the player's hands, giving you true ownership of the product. While this comes with some concessions, it is a true representation of the relationship we want to build between ourselves and you, the players, where you own what you buy without any strings attached. Migration will combine your offline and online characters and account data into one single entity. This does include loadouts, inventories, exotics, Ren, and skill refund tokens. It's also going to combine mission progress and workshop talents. So players who have played both offline and online will see now a much more saturated environment and may want to spend some time organizing their account. All currently active missions are reset and are not migrated over. Current progress on these missions will unfortunately be lost. Characters and gear will not. Characters and loadouts will be returned to your select screen, but you will have to restart any prospects that you were currently in. We've added a new branch on Steam called Centralized, which will hold the last 1.2.27 update in case players want to bring their characters out of missions, etc. And this will not be present forever and will be removed in the following weeks. This migration will also migrate over your open world and outpost sessions, but it will reset and remove your characters from these missions in the process. You'll find your characters and their loadouts in the character select screen and can rejoin the game straight via your dropship. Steam Cloud has been enabled for Icarus, so if you do have multiple computers on which you play Icarus, make sure you migrate on your preferred machine first, the one with the most up-to-date outpost and or open world content. Steam should then sync it to your other machines. Now, we do very much see this patch as providing players ownership of their own data and enabling everyone to play without having access to servers. To enable this, we have had to make some concessions on various gameplay elements, but it also allows us to explore many new options and provide levels of customization and persistence that have not been available before. It has been a massive effort, the team, to pull this through, and they have done a fantastic job. I want to thank everyone who has been here with us over the last year, providing feedback, enjoying the game, and being patient throughout the issues we have. and hope you will join us for the next year as we continue to develop Icarus. And that is from Jake, the project lead. Next up is multiplayer hosting. There has been a few changes to this as well, so if you do play multiplayer, listen out for this bit. Icarus will now continue to have peer-to-peer multiplayer as it always has, where one player acts as the host for their Steam friends, but with one change. The original host must now always be online. From now on, the player who initially created the mission will be the only one able to resume it. Other players will not be able to carry on or launch a mission that another player has started, as this save data is now stored on the initial host's hard drive rather than the cloud. This is the same way that Outposts and Open World have functioned since their launch, so that experience won't be entirely foreign to many of you. It is important to note, though, that you should always be the last person to leave a prospect. This way, players are always guaranteed to be able to recover their gear and claim any rewards and exotics, as they would be unable to launch the mission later. However, we now grant rewards immediately during missions just to help. If you do want a way to play anytime regardless of where the original host is, then there are dedicated servers. Previously, Icarus had a very helpful feature that migrated the hosting between players when the original host left the game. While this feature doesn't exist in the new data decentralization model, there is still a way to manually share saves with each other so you can continue someone else's prospect while they aren't online. You can find your saves in this little bit here, which is just popping up on screen, or this one here. Now, to find your Steam ID, obviously, go onto Steam and just replace the Steam ID bit with your actual Steam ID. And then from there, you can share that with your friends. But be aware, once a file has been activated, you'll have to have the most recent version shared back to you to be able to continue where they left off. Now, next, we've got gameplay changes. There are a few changes in this to make the experience much more streamlined. And I like what they've done. It's very cool. And the whole decentralization thing, I think, is brilliant as well. Mainly because they were hit with quite a few outages over the past few months. But they always get back online relatively quickly. So it's not really that much of an issue. But if you're jumping on for, say, half an hour and you get 10 minutes in, kicks you off, and you have to spend the next 20 minutes trying to get back in, it can be a bit of a pain. So I'm very much excited for this going forward. It's going to be quite nice. So the gameplay changes are: the new orbital exchange interface is a planetary crafted deployable that, when activated, allows you to call a dropship down to extract your exotics up to the space station. This means that you no longer need to take them up in your dropship with you on completion of a prospect, and mission rewards are now immediately granted on completion of missions rather than sent to your inbox in orbit. Characters are no longer locked to one mission or session and can be used on multiple active sessions simultaneously. You can now select any character from the character select screen at any session at any time, which is brilliant. It's so annoying, especially when you were waiting for the weekly update and you're still halfway through something, then you've got to go in, get your character, pull them out, just to put them in another mission to take them back. Now we don't have to do that, which is really quite cool. You can just pull them straight from the menu and take them into something new. And insurance. It now only insures your items, as characters can't be lost on prospects. So if you do not bring your items up with you in your dropship, they stay on planet until returned. If you have insurance, you can reclaim your items after 5 real-time days from the menu. And workshop items are no longer auto-repaired when you return them to space. You now have the option to repair them for 10 Ren in the inventory or on the surface using a new Tier 3 repair bench. Damn! No more free repairs. Not good. Decentralization servers beta. Now, some may be interested in this, but I'm just going to run through this one very quickly. Decentralization has opened the door for dedicated servers, which are in beta starting from today. Dedicated servers will let you host your own Icarus server to play with friends, and you can control access, timing, hardware, and customize your settings in the future. It is a new way to play Icarus multiplayer, but is not compulsory, and you can still play without a dedicated server, as you have been, as we have been already. If you are interested, then head over to the guide, which I will put in the description down below, so check it out. But it is still in beta, so there's going to be a few issues potentially, and there will be news and info on little bits like that and hopefully they'll get any issues ironed out pretty damn quickly. If you do need a little bit of help with that, then they have set up a dedicated server channel on their Discord. So the link for that is also in the description down below, so go check that out if you do want to look into dedicated servers. It's been a hell of a year, as we can see just by this one image. I do like the new logo, I think it's really quite cool. After releasing Icarus in December 2021, we've quickly shifted our attention on how we could keep innovating, improving and adding to the game. Weekly updates became our approach, focusing on consistently improving and optimizing the base game while expanding the playable content and adding new ways to play and provide an experience regardless of how you enjoyed Icarus. During this time we have released many big and small updates and everything in between. Now we have a little something from Dean Hall, a big little letter, double negative, big little letter. So this one is quite interesting, and it's quite nice to see that, you know, he's put something out there for the fans and the community as a whole. So let's have a little bit of a look at this. Releasing Icarus has been the studio's coming of age. As mentioned before, the beta weekends last year, prior to our release, were a mixed blessing. On one hand, it demonstrated a significant ground of players eager for the content, but it also outlined problems with both the concept as well as the game itself. Most of all, the beta weekends crystallized what the game needed to be very effectively, helping end any uncertainty about what the game needed to be on a development front. You can think of the beta weekends as lightning on a fuse of an explosive. It could only last a finite time before it needed to end. Our studio has had a long, strong history of not crunching our project, but short iteration cycles during the beta week was exhausting for our team, not to mention outages out of hours placed additional pressure. The launch proper was rocky as well because we made so many changes in the final weekend. It had to become impossible within that last week to properly test the breadth of the changes in the game in a real environment with a large bunch of players that came with the launch. After a rocky launch, we did focus on a few things. Dedicated after action and lessons learned process to identify change in the studio across all aspects, and committing to a set content cadence to build trust with the community internally, and we agreed this would be an update each week, every week, with not a single missed week, including holidays. And to be fair to the team, they held true to that. We have had an update every week for an entire year. Now, I do hope the guys are going to be having a lovely Christmas break. I think, hopefully, you know, that they've got a few more days in the office left, and then they can actually relax and take some time off. They've worked really hard, and the game, whilst it has been rocky and things have been a little bit all over the place with certain aspects, I think it is getting much better. Obviously, people that have been following my channel know that I started covering the game when it was in beta, absolutely loved it, but it did get old pretty quickly because, you know, everything you drop in, you do the same stuff, and then you get out and you have to restart that whole process again and again and again. But now it does seem like we've got a lot more parts in game where you don't have to do that grindy process, and you can enjoy the building, you can enjoy the planet, and you can enjoy just doing missions and having fun, which is another reason that I've started to get a little bit more back into the game, and I'm covering these weekly letters, and I do play it quite a bit more than what I have done sort of the past 3, 4, 5 months. So very excited, and I'm looking forward to what the year holds. Anyway, that's enough of my rambling. Let's carry on with this letter. It has been hard, but I'm proud to say the team did both of these, and they've done them with not sure. The initial weeks were hard as the team scoped out as much as possible into every update, but eventually learned to keep the scope measured and proportion out the work in smaller, more manageable and consistent ways. This update brings us to the point where we've moved away from the traditional game of service or a live service model. When we first announced, there was some pushback and concern, and I hope we've done well at explaining why this is important for the longevity of the game. We do not want the game to be reliant on the studio. As a game creator, I think the best outcome for me would be if people continue playing the games I make for long after I am not here to work on them, and that is an important step on that path. The addition of dedicated servers and decentralization of the data, also the community to do further work to pull the game apart and make mods and conversions for the game. They allow our team to make changes that were impossible before. They provide resilience, removing the requirement to support a complex and expensive backend. I know we haven't always done the right things, and we haven't always been as fast as you or we would like to be at fixing these mistakes. But we do want to thank you here for being with us nonetheless, and we're excited for the future of Icarus. We hope you are proud of the team as I am. It's been a heck of a 12 months, and their work on the game is a testament to their resilience. We watch your videos, we read your reviews, and we look at your posts. We talk with you on the Discord, and together, I'm confident we've reached a point where we can really build Icarus into the game that we all want. And that was a message from Dean Hall. And I like that. I think that was quite a nice message. I do like that a lot. And they have done. They've started to build a game that everybody wants. And everybody has wanted the game, you know, it was just very samey. That was personally, I think that was my only issue, that it was very much just rinse and repeat. But now they're starting to add more things that add longevity to the game. It is starting to take away a little bit more of that rinse and repeat gameplay. So very excited for that. Very excited to see what the future holds. Let me know what you think. Are you excited for the future of Icarus? If you are, please drop a like on the video. Subscribe to the channel, and if you do want to support Wide Gaming and the stuff that we do a little bit further, please consider becoming a member. But now, I've been Wide, you have been awesome, thanks for watching, and we'll see you very soon with some more Icarus.